back to Take It Slow Homestead. I'm Carol and I've been working on my garlic lately. As you know, I have been harvesting some scapes and taking care of those. And I got looking around and I am surrounded by garlic right now. First of all, when we first started making the grocery row garden, there was a dead peach tree. So we took that out, and around the peach tree there were some garlic stalks that were growing that we planted a long time ago. Not garlic that we cared for very well. We just heard that it was a good thing to plant around your fruit trees, and so that's what we did. From that I got some very small stalks of garlic that just had the little single heads on them. They hadn't even gotten big enough to divide up into cloves yet. I'll show you. Like this. So just little tiny garlics. And so I put them on a bench to dry, and they have dried now. It's really easy just to pick off the root and stem, even roll it around in my fingers, get the outer layer of skin off of it, and there you go, a little tiny garlic bulb. So I have some of those right here on this bench. I'm going to be taking care of those right now and getting them ready to, I think what I'm going to do is grind them up and put some vegetable oil on them in a jar, or however many jars it takes, little jars. Put it in my refrigerator and use it by the spoonful whenever I need garlic for anything. So that's what I learned on YouTube. I'm gonna try it. So let's take care of this garlic and then we'll move on to another garlic project. Okay, I got that project done. Here's the scraps. I'm going to just kind of crunch these up with my hand a little and throw them over into a flower bed area. There's the garlic. Just blowing away some of the skins. Well, that works pretty well. Just shaking it through this colander. It's falling out the bottom. And getting all over my pants. Like that. So, get those brushed off. And now we'll take these in the house. Here we are in the house, and here are all of those little tiny bulbs of garlic. I did actually find a couple that had cloves on them. See, you can see that. There's cloves on that one. So there is one garlic project there. Another garlic project is what I did with the garlic scapes. What I decided to do with them was something I learned on YouTube. This is my dehydrator. Just bought it. It's the only one I could find in our whole town. Amazing. So it has an on and off switch. There's no other temperature gauge or anything like that. Just on and off. And you can see inside there I have chopped up some of the garlic scapes. Just just going to lift that out. And there's just a few on this top rack. There's more underneath. And those are not very full, but the others that are lower are a little fuller. Okay, so I have, counting the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 trays of garlic scapes. Carefully put this back on. Alright. And I will turn that back on momentarily. I dried them for several hours last evening, turned it off for the night, turned it on a few minutes ago, turned it off just now so I could talk to you. But that is the garlic scapes. And what I'm going to do with those is grind them up into flakes or powder, however small I can get it. And then I will use those in my cooking also. Now, these are just the scapes. They're just the stems. The top part of the stem that forms a little ball, and I guess it's like the flower of the garlic. And when you let them go a certain length of time where they start to open up, then inside there are small, little tiny garlic beads, I call them. They're garlic cloves. And what I did is I put them on this tray after I cleaned them off and took off all of the small little, I don't know what you call it, the insides of that. I'll show you, they're right here in my sink. All of these little tiny pieces that were surrounding the top of the scape. Yeah. Took all those off, cleaned it all up, took the skins off, and I ended up with a lot of these. You can see the new baby garlics starting to form. So what I'm going to do with these, now that they're all frozen, is I'm going to put these small ones like this. First of all, I'm going to put those in a bag and seal them up. Okay? Vacuum seal them. So there's small ones, there's medium ones, like that. And I'm going to put those in another bag. Some of the big ones I will also vacuum seal in another bag. I'm going to leave out just a few. I wonder how many I should do. Probably like that many, and I'm just going to put them in a regular baggie, about that many, and then I will use those first. And you know, it doesn't really matter that much the size of them. It's just that I've never done this before, so I'm kind of curious as to how this is going to turn out. So that's why I decided to divide them up in sizes. And I'm going to vacuum seal most of them in small bags because I don't know how fast I'm going to use these up. And then what I'm thinking of is when I start to use them, and you know, I love soup, and so a lot of times I put garlic in soup. So I think what I'll do is just take one of these whole things here and toss it in the soup. And then as all the other vegetables and everything are simmering in the soup, then I'll have one of these also. I might cut it up. I don't know. Or I might even grind it up. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Anyway, these are the tops of the garlic scapes. And that's how I'm going to preserve them, by freezing them. I didn't blanch them first. I'm just going to freeze them fresh. Yay! One down. This is just a snack size baggie. And I'm just going to put the last 3 in this. Okay. There. Got that many. Yay! These are all going to go back in my freezer. This one that's in the little snack bag, I'll use it first. These that are vacuum sealed, they will last quite a while in my freezer. Well, so far I have cleaned off those little tiny garlic bulbs, and I'm going to be cleaning them up even more so that I can grind them up and put them in oil in a jar in the fridge. I have taken the frozen, what do you want to call them? The heads of the Scapes, and I've put them in freezer bags, vacuum sealed most of them, all but that one, and I'll use that first. They're all in the freezer, so there's one project that's totally done, is the top of the Scapes. Now I'm going to be cleaning off those little ones, like I said, and in the meantime I'm going to turn the dehydrator back on so that the Scapes can continue to get good and dry. So I'll check back with you later. This thing's noisy. It's a couple hours later. I've been working on those little tiny garlic bulbs. So I will take you over to the sink and show you what I've been doing. I'm almost done with those. I think I'll turn this off for a minute. Noisy. I just have a few left to cut the ends off and peel. Here's the little pile of them right here. Some of them are pretty little, like about the size of a pea. Yeah, it's like trying to peel a pea. But a lot of them are bigger, this size right here, but they're still small. So I'm almost done. Okay, I got that done, and I decided to preserve them this way in a jar with oil. I've already got some oil in this one, but I'm not going to grind them up and like in a food processor or blender or anything like that. I think I'll just try mincing them with this, and that's why I put a little bit of oil in there already. I'm just going to mince them, scrape them off into the little container, and so let's try that. As I was peeling those really small garlic bulbs, I got wondering, is this worth it? Because, you know, it took a while and it was tedious. But normally I don't mind tedious things as long as I feel like I have the time. So I guess it just depends on who you are and what you like to do. I often thought that I would be a good employee on an assembly line because I just think I would be content to do that. So for me, this is not a chore. It did take a while, but it's a fun experiment. Seems like the last few years have been years of experimentation for me. Ever since 2020, you know, I already had plans for my garden, had my seeds, I had everything ready to go. And I think I had my best harvest ever up to that point in 2020. So if somebody asks me, do I think that this project is worth it? I would say yes. It's worth it to me. I don't like to throw things away. I don't like to waste things. So to me, this is worth it. Plus, something like this can be therapeutic. It gives you time to think. It gives you time to plan. What should I do next? What's the next important thing on my list that I should do? So that's my philosophy. We each have to figure out our own philosophies of life, the things that we like to do, the things that we prefer not to do. Of course, sometimes it's good to do things that need to be done that you don't particularly want to do, but you do it because you know it's the right thing. So, I am going to finish doing these. When I get them all done, I'll show you. There it is. So this is a jar from, I don't know, what do you call it? Like salsa, French onion dip. Yeah, one of those type of jars. Anyway, so I would say it's about a little more than a cup, maybe a cup and an eighth or something like that. Put the lid on. There is my garlic in oil. Put it in the fridge. Now that makes 2 garlic jobs that are done. I'm going to turn this back on. Actually, I think before I do that, I'll check them. See how they're doing. Oh, that little skinny one broke really well. That's good. Oh, that's good. You know what? These are really getting close to being dry. Oh, that one is good too. I'm going to check the bottom rack. Put these over here. That's good. You know what? I think they're done. The bigger, fatter ones are a little bit stringy when I break them. Of course, the skinny ones, the more tender ones to begin with, they break readily. So I think it's time to grind these up. It looks like the blender is the one that works the best. Here is the finished product. Garlic scape powder, more than a cup, a little more than a cup, and garlic scape flakes. And I must say that straining the powder after it was blended up was more tedious to me than washing and peeling those little tiny garlic bulbs. It was a lot of straining, a lot of blending, a lot of straining back and forth. So I did end up with this much of the powder, this much in flakes, because I just didn't want to keep going and going to see if I could get it all into powder. So I thought, you know what, flakes are good. Now, when I was finishing up, I thought, this doesn't even smell like garlic anymore. It smelled like garlic when I was dehydrating it. The whole house smelled like garlic. And I think that my whole system is just tired of smelling garlic. So I hope that this stuff is flavorful, and I'll let you know as I start to use it. So today I did those 3 things. First, I packaged up those garlic scape heads and put them in the freezer. And then I washed and peeled and prepared the garlic, little tiny garlic bulbs, and made minced garlic in oil in a little jar and put it in the refrigerator. And the last thing I did was the garlic scapes, dried garlic scapes, dehydrated garlic scapes. I blended them up and made the powder and the flakes that I just showed you. So, what a day. And I hope that you have some projects like this in your house too. Things that will challenge you, things that maybe you've never tried before. And remember, in doing all of your things, that even when you take it slow, you can accomplish a lot. Thanks for watching.